So how to create users and assign them to sites. This is very important because this is a multi-site installation of WordPress. The SAU15 site is the parent operating site for the entire network, which is why all of the other sites have their own subdomains that determine their real estate within the network. The primary benefit, as we've talked before, of having the multi-site network is that there's one set of core, there's one set of plugins. All the sites use the same package. So when updates come around, there are going to be super admin within the network, like myself and whoever else is going to be capable of going in and running the updates and creating users and creating new site instances and things like that, which I don't know if you'll necessarily ever have to do. But let's say you had a big event, every year, and you decided, you know what, we're not going to try and wedge it into like one of the school sites. We're just going to make a separate little site that's just for that. You could do that if you wanted to. So how do you get to them and how do you do that? You go up to My Sites. If you are a super admin, you'll be able to go to the network admin, and that's where all of your update tools reside. If I just click on network admin, it's going to change the view here. So this is the dashboard for the network of the sites as opposed to the dashboard for SAU15. The other people who are using the sites in here, the assignment of users is important because maybe you need access to Hooksett, Kali, Underhill, and Memorial, but not the other ones. You can just be assigned to those 4, so when you hover over the drop down under My Sites, you only see the sites that you're assigned to, and it doesn't get muddied up with the other things that are going on, which is really nice. From the network admin layer, you have the ability to view all the sites that are in here, and we have this test one, but here's, I created Hooksett, Kali, Memorial, Underhill, Candia, Auburn. That name is actually what the subdomain prefix is. So Hooksett.sau15.net is the address for Hooksett. All right, so the actual addition of users to the sites themselves, you only have to add a user to the system once, and then once they're in there, then you can apply them to multiple sites as you want to. So we'll use Justine as the guinea pig here to start. We'll add new. And like J-T-H-A-I-N?
No,
A-I-N. What's your email?
Justine.ang@sa.
Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You don't get to set the password. It just does that automatically when you create the user. So I'm going to add Justine, and it added her. And now the next step that I have to do is I have to go back to Sites, and then I'm going to go to edit the Hooksett site. And now there's a dashboard under the site that allows me to determine what users are available for this site. So I'm under here, but then I can say I want to add an existing user, and now it's going to look in the database and be like, oh, I'm going to grab Justine and I'm going to put her in as an administrator so she can manage everything that goes on with that site. So
Or delete it.
you cannot delete the site as an administrator of the site, only if you are a super admin of the network. So we'll be, whoa.
Underhill.
And now
Good range.
same thing for Memorial, Kali. We'll edit that. So I won't do them all, but you get the idea.
Mm-hmm.
And if you wanted to add a new user, so the way I had showed you, I was just adding a user to the entire system. The other way you can do it is you can actually go into the site right here. Instead of looking for an existing, you can just add a new one, and it's just going to be for that site, but it'll still be available for application to other things. So you don't always have to go about it in that two-step process if you don't want to.
The roles,
Mhm.
are we gonna go over those later?
So the roles that are here, subscribers, so it's least to most powerful. So
Okay,
subscribers can do basically nothing except edit their own profile within the site. Subscribers would typically be like if you had a blog and you wanted people to register to comment kind of thing, like they would be a subscriber. Contributors can create information but can't publish it. And authors can create information but can't publish it, but can update things that are theirs that have already been published. Editors can create information and publish it on their own, but they can't manage things like site settings or theme theme application stuff. Any high level settings that go along with what the site functions are. But an administrator can do everything. So there really isn't a workflow, so to speak. Like a contributor creates something and then an editor gets notified and they have to go and publish it. It's a little bit more manual in the fact that, like, if you wanted to have people in that lower level, it would be up to you to be like, all right, I'm done with this. Please go check it and publish it. So it's not that big a deal. It's just a process. You have to remember to do that.
so our secretaries would be editors?
You probably use editors and administrators the most. When the time comes to eventually get into creating like real estate for teachers and stuff, we'll actually be creating a separate role type unique to them. It's just called teacher. And then they'll have unique permissions. It'll be like, you can only access your stuff and only see these menu items when you log in, so it's not all mixed up with all the other stuff that's in there for managing the site. So, but that will come much later after we get all this kind of basic stuff set up and working. So that's pretty much it when it comes to users and assigning them.